Welcome to this introduction to pregnancy yoga. I just wanted to give you some idea of how a pregnancy yoga class differs from an ordinary yoga class. I'm a qualified DRU yoga teacher, and then I studied for an extra year to present pregnancy yoga. And I find this helps mums so much in so many ways. Physically keeping you flexible, helping you ease out the pains and aches that are caused by pregnancy sometimes. And it's also about keeping you calm and centered, enables you sometimes to discuss with other mothers, to create that feeling of community. And I also work with you to reduce any fears or concerns you've got about pregnancy and birth, or about becoming a mother as well. So a couple of examples. For instance, in a DRU yoga class, initially, we would always start off and we do some exercises and we do some swinging, and not going to be great if you're pregnant. Okay, so we use a chair a lot in pregnancy yoga. So here's my chair. And the way we would do the working of the joints, because that's what we're doing when we start off with that opening up stages, it's just working through your joints. So always make sure you're back in the chair. We can work the arms quite easily, we can open up, so that's not a worry, but the legs. So you start off and you link your fingers underneath your legs so you're supporting it, and then we take the ankle round, we take it the other way, and then we circle into the knee. I'm not doing it as many times as we normally would. Okay, so you're working there, you've got support, you're not putting too much strain. You then, gripping the side of the chair, open up the hip. See how that would work. So in using the chair, you're still getting to maneuver the joints, and we would do the same on the other side. Okay, so if I come up from my chair, use the chair in many different ways. So if you were doing, for instance, a forward bend, if you're pregnant, you're not going to come down and do that. Too difficult, especially as you get further on into your pregnancy. But what you can do is to use the chair. So I'm just going to put my hands flat there. Now, that allows you start to sink into it. So your back starts to release. And the way that you come up is to dip the knees and unroll. So you're using the chair for support, using the chair to get up and down and to release. Another movement that we do in a normal yoga class, we're doing that. Again, not appropriate. So we use the chair. So we stand that way and we put the hand there and we just rest the hand there. So you're getting the same thing, but you're not coming all the way down. You just come as far as you comfortably can with the support of the chair. And then you would bring the foot back in and unroll. Other ways that we can use the chair to come up and down off the floor. Again, chair coming down, or to come up. Okay, so it's your best friend. It's your new best friend. So lots of ways we can use it. I'm just going to put the chair to one side for the moment. Now, having come down, I'll just come down ordinarily. One of the lovely positions that people really, really get the most out of, be it an ordinary class, but particularly in a pregnancy class, is the cat posture. So whereas we normally have the knees, in a nice parallel line, we take them wider. And then we just continue as normal. Now, once we've done that, a lovely one to use is a rocking of the hips. Now, I always say gently, we do not want to give that baby a headache. Nice and gentle. Now, this rocking movement, and we then do it where we circle as well, and go both ways, nice little bit of circling. Those movements are ideal for pregnancy. They're also ideal I use it a lot with my teenage yoga classes for helping release the cramps and so on pain of periods. So they're useful for any time in life. Normally we would do the child pose, which would be down here. obviously not great for pregnancy. What we do is have the elbows support the chin, and you do support the chin in the hands so that you're supporting the neck as well. So then you've got room for baby. Now, I always ask you to bring a number of cushions with you. And for instance, you can use a cushion perhaps here to sit back on to give you a bit more support. Equally, you can have cushion under bump and support yourself that way. And that will vary depending on where you're at in your pregnancy. So a few props does help, okay? And I'm guiding you through all the time on the best way to support yourself. So cushions are useful, blocks, chairs. We need a number of props to help us and being sensible about what you're doing. So just pop that out of the way. Other things we can do while we're on the floor is some stretching. And again, one of the most favourite ones, which is a lovely one to do for pregnancy, is the butterfly. So you're always up on your sitting bones and you bring the feet in and you bring them together. You link your fingers and slide underneath. And then each breath out, breath in, and then breath out, imagine them releasing. Really good. One of the things you often suffer with in pregnancy is heartburn. This will get rid of it for you. And it starts to help to release through the body. And you're opening those hips up, which we need. The hormones will kick in when you need to be opening the hips. But if they're used to doing it in the first place, then that really helps. Again, you can do this with cushions under your knees if you want to support them. You can have a couple of cushions, whatever you need. And then when you're bringing the legs in, you would pop the hands underneath the knees and bring them in, supporting them. And then you can just release them. There are so many things that I introduced to you during a pregnancy class to help with the different aspects of physical aspects of your pregnancy, as well as mental, emotional. When we do the relaxation, we do that on your side and we do that on your left side. Normally in relaxation or anything when we're on the side, I ask people to be on their right, but for pregnancy, it's on your left. The reason being, when you're on your left side, then you're not putting too much pressure because the artery move coming from the heart and through to the baby and taking the blood flow is blocked if you're doing too much. So it allows the flow of the blood. I would always ask people to have 4 cushions for relaxation, 1 under your head, 1 between your knees, 1 under bump, and 1 tucked into your back. A nice blanket over you. Now, doing this online, I can't come around and do that for you. But what I would recommend is that you have your partner there and your partner gets to look after you and tuck you in. Now, when we do some breathing and relaxation, lovely breath that we do, which, I would always do the breaths perhaps seated. You're more comfortable like that. I'm just going to do it on my knees because I'm down here. One lovely breath we have is called the letting go breath. And that's breathing in, and then on the breath out, and you just sat with your hands, you imagine letting go, of releasing the tension, breathing out. And that will become a very useful one when you're in labour, letting go breath. So all these things and tips I will give you throughout. I also do other things. Sometimes we do a little bit of emotional freedom technique. We tap away, which is another therapy I use, which is a bit like acupuncture without the needles. And we tap away any fears or concerns you've got about pregnancy, about the birth. So I bring other skills in, as well as the pregnancy yoga itself. You will learn a lot of breathing techniques, and that helps you again during labour and throughout the pregnancy. The feedback I've had from my pregnant mums is that they have felt more in control of what's happening around them and more in control of the labour. The feedback I've had from midwives is, first of all, wanting to know what were these ladies doing, because they seem to be different, and they referred them to me. And they have recognised, again, that the mums that have been to my pregnancy yoga are a lot calmer and able to deal with anything that may come up, because not everybody has the perfect birth. But even when problems do come up, because you've got the techniques to help you, then you deal with it. And if you look on my YouTube channel, on this channel, there is an interview with one of my mums, and she describes what happened to her and how the breathing and the information I'd given her helped her through a very difficult time. So that's an in-depth 20-minute interview that you can have a look at as well. So that is just a very brief insight into how things are adapted and used for pregnancy. A lovely little, I'll just finish with a lovely little stretch that my pregnant mums love so much. So just coming up, again, in pregnancy, you'd have the chair. Now, I'm just moving my chair out of the way because I've pushed it away. This is called tabletop dog. We can't do things like downward dogs in pregnancy. We can do the tabletop dog. Now, this is having something about the height of your kitchen worktops. Firmly grip it. I'm using a bookcase just out of the camera. You come back, you have your feet a bit wider, and you push your tailbone away, so you're flattening your back. Now, what is really nice is to have your partner behind you, and they're holding your hip joints and pulling you further back, stretching you. They have their foot, they're like that, so their foot's between your 2 feet, and they're pulling you back. And the comment I've had about that lovely stretch, when you come up, by the way, walk in, unroll, always be very careful, is that one lady said, it makes me feel like the baby's got more room, stretched up, because over time, you know, just during the normal day, your back is doing that, and you're losing the flexibility and the give. So you holding a baby is weighing down, so you want to stretch it out. Okay, so that is a fantastic stretch that all my mums love. So I've been doing this many years, and I love helping pregnant mums to have that lovely pregnancy and the birth that they want, to feel in control of the birth and that beautiful baby that you get at the end. So if you would like to know more about pregnancy yoga, please contact me. Do take care. Namaste.